Welcome to episode 3 of the GVT101 with Cindy and Andrew. We are super pumped to be here with you today. Today we're going to be talking about social media and the pillar content strategy. So, one of the things that we hear a lot is I really struggle with social media. Right, one of the biggest things in our business with the way the world is going now is that we're heading towards being online and focusing more on that aspect of what it is that we're doing.
I think something to keep in mind though is the struggle with social media can be quite broad. We are covering a strategy that's going to help you with content creation, which is generally a massive roadblock for a lot of people when it comes to actually using social media, what to post and how to post it, as in how do I create that content in a way that's going to appeal to not only your current customer base, but create an audience to continue to help you to grow.
Yeah, because it's one thing to have followers, and it's quite, I guess, I wouldn't say easy to get followers, but it's easier to get followers than it is to build an audience, right? And get fans. You can have people liking your page, but unless they're interacting with you and following along with what you're doing, actually engaging in the content that you're posting, then it's not really worth anything.
Yeah.
So today we're going to share with you a little bit about that pillar content strategy and what it is and how it can kind of help you in your endeavor to be more socially active.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So, pillar content strategy is something that has been peddled, I guess you could say, by multiple social media gurus, for lack of a better word, around the internet at the moment. And it is the principle that you start with a main core long form piece of content, and that can take many different forms through different mediums. So you might be a great writer, your long form piece of content might be a blog post. If you are more audio based, you might be a podcast person, or you might be a videographer type person, and you can go for a YouTube channel. And you can also combine some of those where you might transcribe your YouTube channel or your podcast and make that a blog, or what's the other one?
Podcast, YouTube, blog.
You know, using one of those three things, right? So, long form piece of content. Then from that, throughout your day or your week, or depending on what frequency of posting your content you want to go for, you can create lots of smaller pieces of content from that one main large piece. And so one of the major stumbling blocks that this helps to overcome is knowing what to post. One of the things that we hear the most is like, I want to post more on social media, I just don't know what to post. I don't have any content. I do the same thing every day and it feels like the same stuff. What is it that I can post? And doing things this way, it gives you some direction and it gives you some guidance as to what it is that you're going to be posting about in that week or in that 3-day or 4-day period, whatever your kind of turnaround period is for that content.
Yep.
I was hoping you'd jump in there, that's okay.
Well, I did want to explain something, backtracking a little bit, is when Andrew was explaining the long form content example, for instance, is let's say that you have a 10-minute video. You can then break that down to 10 1-minute videos. So you kind of are dissecting the long form content into multiple forms of snackable content that you can then put on different social platforms, because each social platform has different ways that people want to be engaged by. So for instance, Instagram is very photo based. So a lot of your content on there would be by creating photos, memes, quotes, maybe even 30-second videos from your long form content to Instagram, and then you can take your 1-minute videos and make them snackable and entertaining and share those on Facebook and on YouTube. So the idea of the long form content is to then break it down completely, create mini videos, create text form posts, create little blogs, what other kind of things, but those are the kind of
so the idea is
that
that,
you can do.
as Cindy was
Images as
saying,
well.
because each platform targets kind of a different type of medium, we'll call it, way that you're posting and what you're posting about and how you actually go about that. You can often use similar quotes or posts or things and rejig them slightly to work on different platforms. So for instance, if you're posting on Instagram, you might have a whole heap of hashtags, right? So Instagram likes a good hashtag, but on Facebook you mightn't have as many. You might change, like for instance, if it's on Twitter, you're probably not going to have a picture. You probably just have text.
And that would be from an amazing quote that you said in your 10-minute video. That will then kind of engage people to want to know more about what it is that you're talking about, that you're sharing, that then they will be kind of directed to the long form content and will learn more about what it is that you're sharing, whether it's a product or a service or education or just entertainment. The idea is that you engage them in using those smaller pieces of content to get them to that larger content, or long form content that's going to really give them all the information that they need to either purchase or make a time to see you for your service, whatever it is. In our case, it's to purchase a product.
Or to potentially learn more if it's a training thing. Right? The other thing to keep in mind is that your long form content doesn't have to be long. So we're calling it long form because it's longer than a standard post. But it doesn't have to be an hour-long podcast or an hour-long YouTube video. It's probably better if it's not.
Unless you want to.
Unless that's you. That's right. If
we don't want to create more work for you. The idea of introducing the pillar content is actually to make less work for you. It's the whole concept of working smarter, not harder. So if you did what Andrew's kind of talking about, you can create up to 64 different posts, which ideally that gives you enough content to post for the next 2 months out of one long form content, which you're talking about like 15, 20 minute videos.
So there's so much that you can, so even from a 5-minute video, if you've things 5 minutes and you have 3 minutes out of there that are maybe good that you can break up into smaller videos. The minute-long videos, there's 3 of those. You might have 5 quotes that you can get out of there. You can go on your stories on Instagram and Facebook, and you can probably post the same one on both of those. Around what it is that you're talking about. You can do that 10 to 15 times in a day. You can do
images,
other people's quotes that relate to what it is that you're talking about. You can post your interactions from previous things that you've posted on that topic with your customers or with your followers or with whoever. That are meaningful and that would add value. So the idea is that, as Cindy said, you don't have to think too hard about what you're doing. You want to draw from that core piece of content that you've put a lot of effort and work into to get it to a point where it's long and it's...
Yeah, and one of the things that we've noticed too is when you put a long form piece of content out, you kind of find that not a lot of people will watch it, or not a lot of people will read it, or not a lot of people will engage in it. But by creating this, by using the pillar content, you're getting them super engaged. They're seeing the quote, they're seeing the little 1-minute video, they're seeing all these things that add up that they will want to sit down and consume your 20-minute long form content. And that's the whole idea, is to get them ready for all the information that you want to give them. If you give them all the information, there's no reason for them to come back to learn more, to engage with you, because you've given them all this content that they might not be ready for, or they might not really be interested in. But if you give them little bits of pieces, you're going to find out who's interested and who wants to know more, and then that gives you an idea of what leads you're going to follow. Because there's nothing like, we've done it so many times where we put out a long form piece of content but we find that the shorter pieces of content are the ones that people are really engaging in.
Yep.
Because people don't have time, they're busy, they want something quick, fast. We actually shared a tip on this, is to start adding captions in videos, because a lot of people consume content without volume.
Well, for instance, while I'm at work during the day, I have my phone on silent all day.
Yeah.
But I often watch things and listen to things and go scrolling through Facebook, and I can watch the videos without sound on, without having to interrupt anyone. So
it's just thinking about the average person when they're consuming it. Is it at night? Maybe I'll put captions on there so that they can watch it. Is it a mum that will be feeding and she doesn't want the noise on? Will it be someone at work? There's just things to consider, which sometimes you're probably sitting there thinking, wow, that's a lot of work adding captions. We have tips and tricks to help you with that. But if you're going to take the time to create a piece of content, do it properly the whole way, so that your reach is going to be far more than just a handful of people. I feel like if you're going to create that much anyway, you're ready to kind of add a bit
But if you're
extra
if you're putting effort into your social media reach and experience, you're going to want to make it meaningful. You want people to consume it. And if they're not consuming it, you're not really doing your job properly. You're not achieving the goal that you set out for in the beginning anyway. So if you do want to build your social media presence, you do need to consider some of these things that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Another thing to consider when it comes to social media is we talk about the algorithm, and we think, I'm going to post what people want to see. And then your feed ends up looking the same, right? You get a lot of likes on one particular photo, then you think, I'm just going to keep posting up photos like that because that's what the people want to see. And that can work to a degree, but you want to think about what's called pandering to the platform. And so what that means is each platform has a specific design and a way that it works. And you want to have your content work perfectly in with the way that the platform has designed it to work. So for instance, recently Instagram has a carousel feature and it's been there for a while, but where you can post multiple pictures similar to an album, and you can flick through that with previously 3 photos, and it's upgraded it now to 10. Now, if you continue to post 3 photos, Instagram's going to say to your post, you're just doing what you've always done. We'll just let a normal amount of people see that. But if you were to say, they've given me 10 photos and I'm going to start posting 10 photos, Instagram wants to see how that's going to work. And so they want people to see it, they want people to interact with it and to know that it's working. And so following the design, I guess, or the layout or the features of each platform is super important, and look for those new features and look for things that the developers are asking you to use. They want you to do these things. They want your stuff to be seen, but they want you to do it their way. And so when we do it their way, we're more likely to be seen.
They're going to reward you for it, right? Because you're using the platform the way that they want you to use it. For instance, another tip is they don't want, so let's talk about Instagram, right? If you're just using stories, they're not going to reward you like someone who does stories and the feed and IGTV, right? So you need to just, even if you are choosing to be on a platform, you need to be using every feature that they have there. Like Facebook, they like to reward people that use groups and events, and the feed and the stories. And Messenger, they want you to use all of the features because they are a business at the end of the day. They are a business, and their whole goal is obviously to make money, but their whole goal is to get you to stay on the platform for as long as possible. And if you are giving out engaging, entertaining, funny, educational posts that people are engaging in, they're going to reward you by allowing more people to see your posts. For those that are beginners on social media, just because someone follows you or likes you does not mean that they are seeing your post. Just like if you have a friend on Facebook, they are not all seeing what you have to say. You have to put things out that engages them, because if they're engaged and they're staying on the platform longer, Facebook is going to say, you know what, this person's putting out good content. I'm going to allow her content to be seen by more people and by more people, because they want you to stay on there. Because when you stay on there, you're being more, when you're being exposed to more advertising, and you're being exposed to all the features that Facebook's getting paid for. And it's helping them build their business. And so we have to look at those types of things, and sometimes we don't think about that because it's a free platform that we're using. But they're a business, we're a business. If we work together, we're going to be rewarded.
Another thing, when the conversation starts around posting a ridiculous number of times a day, like Gary Vee talks about that, posting 64 times in a day, and he's got a great PowerPoint that you can download. We'll put the link in the description, that allows you to see how you can post 64 times in a day. One of the things I think that concerns that comes up when that happens is that I'll be spamming people. Too much stuff will be in too many people's feeds. And like Cindy was just saying, Facebook and Instagram, the social media platforms, whatever it is that you're doing, YouTube, whatever, they want you to stay on their platform. They only ever show you the things that you've told them that you want to see. And you tell them that you want to see things by interacting with them, whether it's swiping through a carousel of pictures, whether it's slowing down your scroll across a photo, watching a video, clicking to see the comments, clicking to see more of the posts. All of those things, interacting with posts, shows Facebook that you like those things. So if you do post 64 times a day across 4 or 5 different platforms, and someone sees all 64 of your posts, they are your biggest fan. And that's okay. That's what they want to see. But it's more likely that you'll post 64 times a day and people will see 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
Because and they're on one platform and they'll see just that bit. They mightn't watch stories, but they might see 5 Facebook posts.
Yeah. That
kind of thing. So don't stress out about posting too much in a day. It just doesn't, it's not a thing. We think it's a thing because we're wired that way because of emails. I was thinking about this the other day. I think because emails, you think if I get too many emails from one particular company, that is spam, and I don't need to see that many from them. Twice a day max, right?
Yeah.
And so if you see more than that, that's too many. That's not how social media works. It just isn't. People
could be following you and not see a single thing over all the platforms. Yeah. Like, it's sucky, that's how it works, but that's why Andrew's saying post 64 times a day, because it doesn't matter. They're not seeing, they're probably seeing like 2% of that. Like, they're not seeing.
And once you pop up in their feed once and they click on it and they like it and they interact with you, then the next time they're on that platform, they'll see a couple more things, and the next time a few more things. And the more they show Facebook that they like it, the more they'll see it.
Yeah.
And so the principle is post as much as you can in a day. You can do that by creating pillar content and drawing from that all the other types of content that you need to increase your social media presence and show people what they want to see.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to test things. You know what's working well, what's not working well, which mediums your customers and your followers like, and keep doing more of that.
Can we give them a quick example before we finish up?
Yes.
So, quick example. So you're probably going, okay, this is great, but how does that kind of come back to Sensi? So a pillar content example, I'm just making this up on the spot. It could possibly be that you are cleaning your whole bathroom, let's just say. It's a video of you cleaning your bathroom, your shower, your bathtub, your sink, the floors, the mirror, and the toilet. Let's say that's your long form content. Then what you're going to break it down to, so that's like, let's say that's 15 minutes. That's you using the product, showing them how to use the befores and after. Yeah. Then that's your pillar content. Your short snackable content can be each section broken down into one video. So just the toilet, just the bathroom, just the bath, just the shower, just the sink, just the floors, just the mirror. There's 7? Did I say? I don't even know, 6 or 7.
Let's go.
Then you can do before and after photos. How much is that? I just talked about
That's
4 or
another
5.
14, another 7 posts, right? Let's just
Yeah,
say
but
that.
let's say the before and afters, that's 2 pictures each, right? That really is.
I guess so. They're each a piece of content.
They're each a piece of content. Then you could do little fun quotes and memes of your children, or like cleaning memes and stuff
Then
like
you could
that.
do like a quote that's not even your quote that you found when you Googled cleaning quotes, and post that on Instagram and on Facebook.
Yep. And then the other thing, I just had it before too, is so before and afters, you can do quotes that you probably took out. Educational too. You can then make little educational posts about, what you're breathing in. For instance, when you're breathing in a product that smells really great, you don't have to cough your lungs out, and it's using botanical products. You can use it in septic tanks. You can, it's not harsh on your skin, it's gentle, all these things. So each thing can be completely educational. Breaking down the lime, soap scum that's in the, in the showers. I think I just
That's
kind
a
of
handful. That's
I
enough,
just kind of told you how to create however many
and
posts.
So the idea
from one product.
So you've got the long form, right? You might post it on a Monday. The rest of those posts give you enough things to post short form about the rest of the week, and in each of those you can link to the full video.
Oh, I just thought of something else. Bloopers are fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
And then, so that's your cleaning video. You might do another long form on Tuesday of some other thing.
Yeah.
Redecorating your
bedroom.
Your bedroom.
And you just put you used
put a wall plug
diffuser, a wall plug-in, a warmer.
Yeah.
You use the the washer whiffs on your bed sheet.
Same thing, right? And then you've also got the laundry. You can do that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
But then you're also drawing another 40 to 50 pieces of content out of that to share throughout the remainder of that next week. Yeah. And then the week after you come up with a new thing. But I think too, another core principle to remember is that it's about just being more intentional. If you wake up on Monday and you say, what am I going to post today? You're going to struggle to come up with what you're going to post. But if you've sat down on Sunday night and planned out your whole week, it's not going to be difficult for you.
And you can do that with a 15-minute video.
That's right. And obviously, those days don't matter, but that's up to you how you want to do that. But if you plan it in advance is more the principle.
And really, let's be real, if you're serious about your business, you should have a business plan. You should have a business plan for the day, for the week, for the month, for the quarter, and for the year. And if you don't have one, we're coming into 2020, you can start creating a plan. So
get intentional, plan yourself out, get that long form content going, start thinking about things that you can do. And we will link to some of those tools that we talked about throughout the video in the description so that you're able to access those and have all the things that you need. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Have you got anything else?
Nope, that's
hopefully that was enjoyable and gave you a little insight into how you can make social media work better for you. Subscribe if you haven't already, please. And thank you for watching.